Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here today to the Food City 500 on NASCAR Thunder 2004. This is race number 5 on the season. Ryan Newman comes in with the points lead. Very narrow. Still early in the season, though, so things haven't quite taken shape as far as who the real championship contenders are, because the top 11 are still within one race of one another. So it's pretty much kind of normal for this early in the season. It'll still take a couple races before we get going here. So 500 laps at Bristol. If we can get to the end, this is going to be tough. Cult 48, welcome to the stream. So here we go. Yeah, we're just going to hope for the best.
Welcome everyone to Bristol, Tennessee for today's NASCAR Winston Cup race, the Food City 500. This is one of the most exciting tracks in the NASCAR Winston Cup series. So many cars, so little space. Wouldn't you agree?
I think the old phrase "Rubbin's Racing" explains exactly what we're going to see in this one. Tight, fast racing with a lot of bumping and banging for position. Just what these NASCAR fans love to see.
Dale Jarrett was part of one of the tightest points battles in NASCAR history in 1997. He ended up finishing second to Jeff Gordon.
And he didn't finish second by much, only 14 points. And Mark Martin wasn't too far behind either. Those last couple of races in the season are pretty exciting when a championship is on the line.
Greg Biffle has had some run-ins recently with Stanton Barrett.
A little bumping now and then is okay. They just need to make sure it doesn't get any more serious.
Over 150,000 strong on their feet for the start of the Food City 500 here today. Mark Martin will be starting on the pole for the first time this season. He comes in with a win already on the year, running third in the point standings as we get things started here in this one. So Mark Martin and Kurt Busch outside pole, so both Roush Fenway Fords on the front row. Kurt Busch has a good history at this racetrack. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Elliott Sadler with back-to-back great qualifying performances. They'll be starting in row number 2. Ryan Newman, the Rocket Man, did not qualify on the pole today, but he qualified back in 5th. Dale Jarrett will start in 6th. Newman, the points leader coming into today's race. Ricky Rudd, Jerry Nadeau will make up row number 4. In row number 5, we've got another Roush Fenway Ford in the top 10 for the start here. Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon, already with one win on the season, starting 10th. Greg Biffle, your winner in the last race at Michigan, will be starting 11th. Tony Stewart, still winless through the first 5 races this year, starting in 12th. Jeremy Mayfield, Rusty Wallace will make up row number 7. Matt Kenseth, Daytona 500 winner, Kevin Harvick will be starting 15th and 16th in row number 8. In row number 9, it'll be Johnny Benson and Jimmy Johnson. Johnson looking for a bounce-back performance off to a rough start this season. Mike Skinner, Robbie Gordon will be back in row number 10. Sterling Marlin, Christian Fittipaldi will be starting row number 11 for this one. In row 12, Kevin LePage, Casey Mears. Ken Schrader, Kyle Petty. Row 13. Back in row 14, it's going to be Jamie McMurray and Hermie Sandler. Jeff Green, Brett Bodine make up row 15. Kenny Wallace and Kevin Grubb will make up row 16. Terry Labonte with another poor qualifying effort. He hasn't had a great start to the year either. And Joe Nemechek, his teammate, will start outside of him in row 18. Steve Park, Stanton Barrett will be back in row 17 rather. This is row 18 with Steve Park and Stanton Barrett. Ward Burton, Ricky Craven back in row 19 for the start of today's race. Rookie Jack Sprague, and then veteran, longtime veteran, Bill Elliott will start outside of him back in row 20. Michael Waltrip and Bobby Labonte, two guys you'll have to keep an eye on going forward in today's race. Back in row 21, some fast cars way at the back, and David Green will be starting last in today's race, all by himself in row 22. Here we go. Mark Martin will lead the field to the green for the Food City 500. Green flag in the air for Roush Fenway. Ford start inside the top 11. Wow, Jeff Burton got really loose up there. Trying to make it past the bottom is the way to go around this racetrack. Got to be patient for 500 laps here if you're going to want to make it to the end. Biffle already trying to make a move, though, on Jerry Nadeau for position. Loose getting into the corner and got into the back of his teammate, Jeff Burton, afterwards. Biffle's car was a little loose in practice, so I'll have to keep an eye on that going forward. Had a thrilling race at Michigan a couple days ago. I want to make passes here, but it is just a train game around the bottom here with old Bristol. By the way, Jackson Thomas, welcome to the stream. We did start 11th for today's race. Already 5 laps in. The laps go by quick here. You can get about 4 of them in a minute. We're going to be 100 laps into this thing before we know it. Jeff Burton swung wide going into turn 3. Biffle got under him, trying to get the power down to get around him here. Oh, a little contact. The way you can make rivals in this game, you do not want to do that consistently. They almost got into one another again there through 3 and 4. Biffle's really trying to get around him, but Burton gets the run off the exit of the corner. A little bit of contact again as Biffle will finally get around his teammate. A little more contact, I think, than what he wanted with a teammate, but man, oh man. And obviously the leaders, when they catch lap traffic, things are going to start to slow down, fizzle out here. Name of the game, you could have a fast car, but if you can't get through the lap traffic, it's going to be really, really tough. Could make for a very long day. Turns 3 and 4. It seems like these guys kind of run a little bit wider. Biffle's able to stick the bottom really well. That's how he got underneath Jeff Burton. Now he's going to try to get around Elliott Sadler. Nice clean pass that time as he works his way up to 7th place. Ryan Newman trying to make a pass on Kurt Busch right now inside the top 5. That's a battle for 4th. Dale Jarrett waiting in the wings right behind him. Oh, Biffle. Scrape off the wall there off of turn 2. And now he's caught up right behind Dale Jarrett. Ethan, welcome to the stream. Walked up the racetrack a little bit, maybe trying to diamond the corners off, see if he can get a run on Dale Jarrett that way. To start that higher line, dive to the bottom. He's just not able to get under him though. And now Dale Jarrett's kind of trying the same line, and that really made Biffle check up, and Jarrett able to pull away from him just a little bit there. Biffle almost drilled him. I don't think he was expecting Jarrett to take his line away up there. But by doing that, now he gives the bottom open again through 3 and 4. This is where Biffle's got under the first few cars he's gotten around here today. The good thing is he started on the inside lane. He was able to gain a couple spots there early. Contact there with Jarrett. A little rub and run for 6th. Trying to figure out how to get the track map back on there. I don't know why it's not showing up. Things still kind of spaced apart for the early going of the race. About as spaced apart as they can be around this racetrack, that is. Right all over the back bumper of his teammate Kurt Busch, trying to find a way to get around him here. Kurt swung a little wide, but not wide enough. Biffle had to check up, just couldn't quite get under him. Well, trying to race these guys about as clean as you can by Bristol standards. Braden Rankin, welcome to the stream. Oh boy. Biffle overdrove that corner a little bit. Dale Jarrett's starting to close right back up on him again. You can see the lap cars just up ahead. Really starting to grow into the picture. Oh, little bump. Biffle trying to get under his teammate now. Good drive up the exit of the corner. Slides right in front of him. Biffle up to 5th. First time he's cracked the top 5 in the early going of the race. And don't look now, we're already on lap 25. There's Ricky Rudd. Kind of swung high through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So is Mark Martin as they're stuck behind David Green. Ooh, contact between Martin and Biffle there, and he's going to get around David Green quickly. So Biffle up to 3rd. Kind of using David Green as a pick to get around Mark Martin and Ricky Rudd as quickly as he did. Just under 2 seconds now behind All right, can you guys hear me now? Might have fixed it, I don't know. Good? Okay, we're good, we're good. For some reason, I don't know what happened with my laptop. Was the mic off the whole time? Okay, I'll go back to racing. Yeah, thanks for letting me know, guys. It wasn't off the whole time. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, for some reason I went to the, like on my actual laptop, it wasn't even the OBS, it was my laptop, for whatever reason, switched me to headphones instead of the mic. I had the mic plugged in, so I don't know why I did that. Alright, yeah. Try not to wreck in the middle of the corner. Unpausing the game, there we go. So getting back into the rhythm game now here at lap 57 at Bristol for the Food City 500. Bobby Labonte off to a rough start in this one. Qualified up at the back of the pack. He's running halfway decent. He's working his way through the field, but not sure exactly how many drivers are on the lead lap right now either. Biffle's got about 1/8 of a second lead over Dale Jr. It's heavy lap traffic. David Green not mad enough at Biffle right now. Biffle will get around him pretty easily. Big slide up the racetrack there by Biffle. Great crossover, though, to get around Joe Nemechek and beat him back down to the bottom. And just slides right in front of him going into turn 3. So Biffle off to a strong start in this race today. And not going to take it 3 wide there underneath Robbie Gordon. He's going to wait patiently to get around Kevin Grubb. Oh, man, that was a big moment. Tell those tires starting to wear out just a little bit more. Robbie Gordon now a tough out here for Biffle, and he gets into the wall in 3 and 4. First time he's gotten into the wall at that end of the racetrack. Tyler Burback, welcome to the stream, by the way, too. Yeah, sorry for the mic issues, but at least we're back to normal now. And if that happens again, just let me know. I really don't know why that was the case, why I just randomly switched to headphones. So, little bump to the back of Robbie Gordon, loosening him up, shoving him up the track, and now Biffle's going to get around him. Wasn't gaining as much time on Junior. He's actually starting to lose a little bit of his lead, sitting behind Robbie for a few laps there. And Stanton Barrett here. Biffle's going to take it 3 wide underneath Terry Labonte and Stanton Barrett. He wants to get out of Barrett's way. Doesn't want to give Barrett a chance to take a swing at him here. First 100 laps of the race. Oh, man. Instead, there's some contact between Labonte and Biffle. See how loose Biffle is getting to the brakes into turn 3. This car's a handful. 65-plus laps on their tires already for everybody around this racetrack. This is definitely where handling can become an issue. Waltrip trying to get around Jamie McMurray. Great job diamonding the corner out there. McMurray goes a little wide. Biffle's able to get around McMurray and Waltrip through turns 3 and 4. Contact with the back of Ward Burton. So the idea here at Bristol, stay out as long as you can. If there's one thing I've seen with this game at Bristol and Martinsville in particular, Winval calls it the Christian Fittipaldi caution, and or whoever is in that first pit box on either one of the pit lanes, I guess front stretch or back stretch here, they pull out of the pits and they like to throw a caution. I don't know if that's going to happen with me in this game. I haven't raced out here obviously yet, so Well, a full race anyway. Outside of just the practice sessions I've had, so kind of trying to obviously play this out as long as we can and hope that we don't get trapped a lap down if that happens. So Biffle's plan is to stay out of the pits as long as possible. Now, that could cost him, obviously, if it stays green long enough for everybody to cycle through. But there's very easily a possibility of a caution even outside of that. Two separate pit lanes here. You got guys coming out of the pits as guys are trying to come in. At that same portion of the racetrack, it can cause some hectic problems. So we'll have to see how that will go. Not sure how long they can go on fuel or how many pit stops we'll see today. But that is definitely something to look out for if the time comes. Caution free up to this point. Oh man, Biffle slides into the wall, 1 and 2. Right after he got around Jeff Green. Green gets him back. Biffle's really struggling with the handling of the race car. Brett Bodine gets right back around him now too. Sorry, Sterling Marlin, not Brett Bodine. Bodine's still behind him in the 11. A lot of rear tire smoke coming out of the back of that 16. An entry to the corners trying to not slide as much. Dale Jr.'s caught up about a half a second in the last 3 laps now. Biffle in the back of Marlin. Little bump and run, trying to get back around him here. Barely clears him off at turn 4. It's a lot harder to diamond the corners off now. With these older tires, he's pretty much got to go to the bottom and stay to the bottom. Jeff Green going to allow him to get around him pretty easily here. Oh, Biffle in the wall off of turn 4. That almost turned him right around, too. Good job hanging on. I'm sure everybody is sliding around so much right now, but Biffle almost in desperate need of a caution at this point. Back out to about a 3-second lead again, so Junior's struggling in the lap traffic once more. Again, that lead's going to fluctuate all day. R6, welcome to the stream. Lap times have slowed down about 0.7 of a second or so, but I'm surprised it's not more at this point. Got to keep control of the car, though. You do not want to be the one to wreck. I don't know how Biffle kept it off the wall that time. That time he actually got it to cut underneath of Jerry Nadeau now in the 01. That right front's starting to get a little bit more worn out now. Elliott Sadler, who qualified 4th. Kind of faded back a little bit. He's in danger of going a lap down now, right in front of Greg Biffle. Seems like Biffle's sliding more and more throughout the course of this one. Keeps it off the wall, off of turn 2 again. Dives it to the inside of Elliott Sadler. Drove it in about as hard as he could have with how bad the handling of the car is, and he'll get right around him. Get way out of the gas there, let the car roll back up the track. Almost wants to turn a little too easily. Power slide again. You're going to see that until he hits pit road at this point. Just going to have to hope he hangs on as he'll put Jeremy Mayfield a lap down. Caught behind Jack Sprague, fellow Rookie of the Year contender now. You can see Mark Martin, Tony Stewart up here. Martin, remember, started on the pole, so he's even kind of fading back. Right around Mike Skidder. Here's Tony Stewart. Oh, Tony got the wall off of turn 2, and that's going to make it a lot easier for Biffle to get around him in 3 and 4. Martin got hung up on the outside. Biffle checked up behind him instead of making the move to the bottom. Kyle Petty, Christian Fittipaldi now right around the 6 of Martin. Biffle, man, oh man. That was about as close as he's been to spinning out that time. Almost 100 laps into the race. It is a handful on these tires with nearly 100 laps on them. Lead out to about 4 seconds now. Biffle to the inside of Petty. Martin and Fittipaldi almost made some contact there. Martin was trying to get around him. Great drive through 1 and 2. My goodness. Tried to hustle around Hermes. Sadler not waste any time there. Clean pass. Oh, Sadler got the wall off of turn 2. Turn 4, rather. Wrong end of the racetrack, but that definitely helped Biffle out quite a bit. Ryan Newman hasn't won a race yet this year, but running 3rd here, consistent. Finished 2nd at Michigan. Probably as close as he's been to winning a race this season. Led the most laps in that race as well. Oh boy. Biffle just ran right into the back of Johnny Benson. Hundred laps down, 400 still to go here in the Food City 500. Oh, Biffle in the wall. That almost turned around. If it wasn't for him jamming the brakes at just the right time, he would have spun down the back straightaway. Remember, you raced back to the caution flag here in 2003, so you can't afford to spin at a track like this. So hard to avoid accidents, how fast-paced this track is. Got to get around Casey Mears. Got Rusty Wallace not too far ahead of him. Oh, a little contact there with Rusty. Didn't quite clear him cleanly. These lap cars trying to run a little bit higher. It's leaving the bottom open for Greg Biffle. Jimmy Johnson started mid-pack. Kevin Grubb almost got back to the inside of Biffle. Easing back to the gas there. David Green kind of holding these guys up. Biffle going to hustle to get around him. Kind of using him as a pick. That worked out about as well as it could have. A little bit more clean room. I'm not sure exactly how far we could go on fuel. We're going to try to stretch it as long as we can. It's not really a perfect number to gauge until we pit for the first time. And I'm not too familiar with this game. Oh, man. Car just did not drive off going into that corner that time. Biffle's starting to wash a little bit more up the racetrack here. He's having a hard time just trying to keep up with Kevin Harvick, who's trying to stay on the lead lap. Harvick has not been lapped yet. Oh, he pulls a block there, a little contact. Biffle kind of got in the back of him. Now Stanton Barrett's trying to hold off Harvick. Biffle going to kind of follow him under there. Oh man, Harvick kind of shuts the door again. He has not been giving Biffle a lot of room. Biffle gets the drive up the exit of turn 4 and is back underneath the 29 car, trying to put him a lap down here. Before pit stops, a little contact. Biffle will get around him. Yeah, Martin Truex Jr.'s rookie season was 2006. Actually had a win at Dover in his rookie year as home track. And obviously, he didn't win again until, what was it, 2012 at Sonoma, 2011? Whatever year that was when he drove the 56 for Michael Waltrip Racing. And he won a couple years after that before winning his third race when he was racing for Furniture Row. A little contact there, Biffle and Gordon. Jeff Gordon trying to stay on the lead lap. Clinging in there, but he's stuck behind Brett Bodine on the outside. A little more contact there between Biffle and Bodine. Ten-second lead. Biffle is widening it out. We'll see who might be the first driver to come to pit road. Matt Kenseth now trying to hold on to the lead lap here. I believe Ricky Rudd is right in front of Kenseth as well. So they try to cling on to the lead lap. Biffle's underneath his teammate Kenseth for now. A little bit contact. Wasn't a clean pass, but got around him, and now Ricky Rudd slides up the track, and Biffle slides into him. Held up there by Kevin LePage. Biffle again underneath of Rudd. Trying to gas it up and get around him. Oh, almost made contact down the front stretch. It's so hard to hang onto this car even down the straightaways. Finally, Ricky Rudd goes a lap down. A little bit more clean room to run ahead now for Biffle. That right front starting to take a little bit of a beating. Gonna have to be careful here. Trying to make it to the end of the run. Biffle might just short pit just to be safe, though, and make sure he can last to the end. Again, you can't win the race if you can't make it to the end, and he's gonna hope it stays green, at least for a long time, and have everything cycle through. Surprise, I mean, such a long green flag run to start this race. Phil's having a hard enough time with his car. He's not really worried about even passing Robbie Gordon here. Ryan Newman has jumped up to second, just ahead of Dale Jr. now. Right rear, left front starting to slowly wear out more and more. Getting low on fuel, probably can't go much further. Lap 126, Greg Biffle will bring it onto pit road. For 4 fresh tires, got to make it onto pit road first. My goodness. 70 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. It'll get down easily in time. No adjustments here. It's just a matter of trying to hang on to the race car late in the run. So Biffle will hit the pits. He's led the most laps up to this point, so trying to short pit here. BMNJ, welcome to the stream. Mainly the concern with the right front tire was the main reason bringing it to pit road as early as he did. And now just hoping it stays green long enough for everybody else to cycle through. He's going to have fresh tires here. That's going to be a huge advantage. Oh my goodness, this car feels perfect with fresh tires back on it. You can really tell the difference. Oh my goodness, some major contact there between the three cars of Labonte, Jarrett, and Biffle. It's Terry Labonte, that is. So he's shown one lap down. He had a big lead. I'm surprised he's only one lap down, but it was a pretty quick stop. Not a long pit road at this racetrack either. With it being dissected, you don't have to go all the way around under caution on pit road at this racetrack. Only under cautions is when you have to do that for the race off of pit road, but under green flag conditions, you only have to pit on your side or go through the pit lane on your side of the racetrack. So kind of driving it maybe a little too hard with the fresh tires. Feels like Superman probably right now. With the fresh grip now. Maybe it wasn't the wisest decision to look high there on Kurt. Oh man, almost ran into the back of him. If it wasn't for him going high, he would have just drilled his teammate. 3 wide to the bottom right under him. Almost made contact. Nice clean pass. I mean, he's nowhere close enough to get back on the lead lap before everybody else pits, even with the fresh tires. Yeesh. Amount of concentration it takes to run this many laps green flag, especially with older tires, is insane. Biffle has fresh tires right now. You can tell he couldn't take it anymore. Wanted to take care of that right front as well with repairing the damage. That's right underneath the Kenny Wallace. When everybody else pits and cycles through, yes, Biffle will have an even bigger lead, but they will be faster than Biffle then with the fresh tire advantage that they will have, especially pitting so long after him. Again, Biffle already pitted almost 15 laps ago. I'm surprised how long these guys can make it. I mean, I guess was almost driven himself to being the first driver 1 lap down all of a sudden. Obviously, with him pitting with a bigger lead, it probably gave more drivers their laps back as well. And there's Dale Jr. Not sure if he's the race leader again or if Ryan Newman is now the race leader, leading his first laps of the day. And that's another thing, Newman at least getting 5 bonus points if that is the case. Oh man, it looked like almost some contact between Petty and Earnhardt on the outside. Still trying to make quick work. He's got a couple rivals here. Best to be careful. David Green blocking. Biffle under him. Drove it in really deep through 3 and 4 to try and do it. Slides quickly ahead of him now. So yes, Biffle is the first driver 1 lap down. Oh, contact, Ken Schrader. Remember, this is a custom schedule season. I'd add that in case you guys did forget. Kind of the jumbledness of the schedule, that being the case. And here's Ryan Newman. Biffle already looking to get his lap back. So now if a caution comes out, at least he'll be back in the lead lap. Fresh tires really paying off big time for Biffle. Usually don't see an advantage short pitting at Bristol, but for Biffle's sake, with it being a long enough green flag run, it has worked out perfectly for him, at least to this point. They'll probably have a lap on the field if everything cycles through here. But then they'll try to run him back down, and that's where things could be a lot more difficult. Biffle's been all offense so far, so it'll be weird for him having a slower car, trying to let these guys get back around him on fresh tires, especially while he's leading. You don't want to have to do that, so it'll be interesting to see how he'll have things play out with that being the case. It's a pass for position there. Wow, I actually got to the outside of Rusty Wallace there. Usually don't see passes around the outside. You saw one there. That was unbelievable. Bobby Gordon checked up, almost got into the wall. Biffle will get around him now. And there's Kevin Harvick. Sliding in the center of the corner. He's going to get right underneath him now. You can see the donuts on the side. The left side of Harvick's car. Usually if it's the left side, that pretty much indicates that you were in the way. Some point or another. Could have been accidental contact, of course, too. But oh boy, we're kind of pushing the issue there on Gordon. Get around him for ninth. Yeah, again, started the stream a little bit earlier today, of course, with the Martinsville race this afternoon. So kind of our pre-race for it. Hopefully, if you had to set your clocks back, as did I, you got that extra hour of sleep. Feeling more rejuvenized, maybe more refreshed for this race here today. I mean, even Biffle grips it on the apron really well with the fresh tires. He would not have been able to do that maybe even 20, 30 laps from now, and it definitely helps that the cars are much slower being on older tires. Yeah, Biffle's got 125 lap fresher tires on these guys. And he's driven his way all the way back up to 5th already. Just gets underneath Terry Labonte. Oh, man! Kind of drilled the back of Sadler. Elliott Sadler, that is. Get underneath him now, using Kevin Grubb as a pick. About 8.5 seconds now. And we have newcomers onto pit road, it looks like here. So more green flag pit stops. Oh, somebody's up in smoke. That's Hermie Sadler in the 0-2. More problems. He's had a rough start to the season with engine issues. So you're going to have some guys on fresh tires, some old tires, Biffle. Medium tires, I guess, would be the right way to express it for him. Fresher than some guys, but these other guys coming out of the pits, they're not as fresh. Dale Jr., one of the guys coming to pit road. Man, oh man, Biffle just shot by Jeremy Mayfield on the outside. I think Mayfield let him go as he was trying to get up to speed still. Oh man, washed up the track right into his teammate again there, Jeff Burton. Ooh. A little bit of a check up there. Bobby Labonte coming out of the pits. Jeremy Mayfield to get right back around Biffle again. Dale Jarrett is currently the race leader. He's getting bonus points here. He's one of the last lead lap cars to stay on the racetrack, it looks like. So when will he come to pit road? And Biffle's going to get right under him. Go up the middle. Jeff Green coming out of the pits. Greg Biffle to the lead into turn 3. And Jarrett will drop to pit road now as soon as he got passed by Biffle. So Greg Biffle back in the lead again, lap 166. Things are cycling through pit stops here. Green flag stops at Bristol nonetheless as we are caution-free up to this point in the race. Jeff Green trying to get back around Biffle. Biffle with a good drive off of turn 2 that time. Yeah, he really can't diamond the corners off now because almost everybody on the racetrack has fresher tires than him. Matt Kenseth, Tony Stewart still have not yet pitted. I don't think Elliott Sadler's pit either. There's Dale Jarrett just coming out of the pit, so he'll go another lap down. But he was in the top 5 there for a little bit, so we know he's got a fast car. That was even before staying out of the pits a bit longer. So there you see is the advantage. 2 laps over Dale Jr., who was in 4th. He will likely cycle into 2nd once Kenseth and Stewart hit pit road. But Jr. is going to be much faster than Greg Biffle. And yes, Matt Kenseth and Tony Stewart now on pit road. So, man, 170 laps into the race to go. That is a long time on fuel around this racetrack, especially on tires. Surprised we didn't have any tire blowouts in that process as well. But Biffle, 45 lap older tires than everybody behind him. You see Dale Jarrett trying to get one of his laps back now. But how much longer will we stay green? Now if we get a caution, these guys are going to get trapped. Dale Jarrett right underneath the Biffle. Biffle going to let him go. Somebody gets underneath him on fresh tires. He's really got to let him go. It's so hard to run the outside here on old Bristol in particular. Not as much progressive banking as you would have had on today's Bristol Motor Speedway. A lot less grip up there. Not sure exactly how far Junior is behind as well in that 2nd position, outside of the fact he's 2 laps. And by short pitting, he was able to get ahead of Ryan Newman. Remember, he pitted a couple laps before him. Newman was in 2nd place. So it was a great call there by Dale Jr.'s team. Get ahead of Newman that way, as Newman seemed to be a little bit faster in the long run. And Biffle with about 50 laps in his tires. You're seeing him now start to slide a little bit more. I'm showing Dale Jr. is only 1 lap down for some reason. I think he's still 2 laps down, but he obviously hasn't passed Biffle. Not sure why that's the case. This guy still will have to pit 2 more times before the end of the day. If it somehow stayed green all the way to the finish, I'd be quite surprised if that was the case. The only caution-free race to this point this season was the Daytona 500, believe it or not. We went caution-free there. Turned into a fuel mileage race, so I usually see that kind of a circumstance at Bristol. Slides into the wall. Ooh, Jeff Gordon under him. He almost made contact with Gordon. Gordon just streamed on past him. Mistakes are going to cost Biffle even more time now with the older tires than what it might have before. Gordon caught behind David Green. Biffle going to drive back under him, but he doesn't have the tires, so this might not work out very well. And Gordon looks back to the inside again. Yeah, he just can't keep up with him. Jeff Green's been stuck behind Biffle for quite a while here. Almost kind of looking to pass him on the outside now. couldn't do that either. It's really tough. I mean, Biffle has a fast car. He's going to get back underneath David Green again. Gordon jumped way up the racetrack there going into turn 1. Seems like Biffle's been keeping his car a lot cleaner to this point in the run, at least. On the second set of tires that he's had in the race today. Of course, they're not all the way worn out like they were earlier. So he would be pitting next about halfway if he tried to take it 125 again. He might try to take it a little bit longer just because. Not sure. I guess it just really depends on how much time Junior's gaining on him by that point in the race if we still haven't yet had a caution. Oh my goodness. Big slide. Kevin LePage going to get right back under him again. Biffle in the wall off of turn 2. Allowed LePage to cross him back over. Jeff Green again had to check up right behind him. Tim, my gamer tag on PS4 is just my name. I don't think there's any spaces if I remember correctly, but... yeah, just my name. Oh boy. Slide again. Oh, kind of got in the wall into turn 3. Another hiccup. Biffle's just holding up a huge train of cars right now. Right back up to Kevin LePage again. Slower cars are still remaining to stay slow even on the fresher tires, but the faster car is obviously a lot faster than Biffle. Fresh tires there as well. I almost wonder if they're only 1 lap down instead of 2 the whole time, and it just kind of cycled them as 2 laps down because we were more than a lap and a half ahead of him. That's the only thing I can think of. Somebody else is now blowing their engine on the inside. Bill Elliott in the 9. Looks like he's going to exit from this race today. Hermie Sadler blew an engine earlier, and now Bill Elliott. But it's tough to get to the end of these 500 laps here at this racetrack, especially to try and stay on the lead lap as well. Having a long green flag run at the start of the race like we've had so far today. Makes it a little more interesting. And this is where we show that Biffle could be a championship contender throughout the course of the year if he runs races like this. For the most part, about as clean as it gets by Bristol standards. Obviously, he's still got over half the race to go, so nothing's given yet. Can't take it for granted, but doing about as good of a job as he could possibly do in all reality here today. It's a good call to come to pit road early, gain a little bit more time. Yeah, the points are messed up in NASCAR Heat 5 Championship mode for the Cup and the Xfinity Series. Truck Series are still fine. The only reason they're messed up in the Cup, for one, I DNF'd. And then it did not save the Coke 600 either, so that didn't help. So I had to go back and get all the stage results and the race results for that one too. Jimmy Johnson going to get right around Biffle. Biffle's still on the outside. That's going to allow Ricky Rudd now to get around, and there's going to be a train of cars coming through here before long. Nope. Jeff Green, Jeremy Mayfield, not quite close enough. Mayfield actually got around Jeff Green. I think it's a little harder to stay patient for as long. We've had a long green flag run like this one here today. Now Mayfield's going to get right around Biffle. Yeah, Biffle's really starting to fade. Jeff Green going to get around him. A little more open space behind him now. Not as much pressure. Do you have to calculate your own for Heat 5? If you DNF, if you want to make it as accurate as possible, yes. That's the only reason I do it, is because it doesn't count the stage points if you're racing stages if you DNF. So that's the only reason I've been calculating the points. And for the Xfinity Series, we haven't DNF there, but the only reason I'm calculating the points there because I did not DNF is just because it didn't count the Charlotte race. Like, for whatever reason, the game just didn't save it. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a glitch again with the game that Charlotte races it doesn't save, because it didn't save my Coke 600 and it didn't save my Xfinity race at Charlotte on championship mode. And it's not a custom schedule either. So I don't know what the case is there. But it saved my Truck Series race at Charlotte, so that's why the Truck Series is still going, because we haven't DNF there either. So I don't know what the case is there. Really weird. Gonna get right around Stanton Barrett. He was sitting behind him for quite a while there, about 20 laps or so. Oh, got the wall into turn 3 again. All's good. Over 200 laps have been completed at Bristol Motor Speedway today. Right front starting to get a little more damage on it there for the 16 of Biffle. Yeah, it would be cool to see the 5 car back on the racetrack again, that's for sure. It'll be weird not seeing the 88 on the track, but it will also be weird, or refreshing, I should say, to see the 5 car back on the track. Blast from the past. Of course, Casey Kane, I guess, had that number not too long ago, 2017. But it's been a few years since we've seen it in the Cup Series. Remember, Casey won the Brickyard 400 that year, too, so he did have a more recent and bigger win in that car, too. Biffle's got his teammate Matt Kenseth around him. Biffle gets right back underneath Jeff Green again. Biffle slides up right in front of him in the center of 1 and 2. Amazing how quick the laps go by here. Again, we went 125 laps when we pitted last time. Pitted at lap 125. It's been almost 100 laps since Biffle's hit pit road already. And running green flag has really quickened the race pace up as we get... I mean, we're almost halfway home already. That's how quick this race has been going by without any cautions. Again, the cautions would slow that race pace down, but... a different story here today. Ooh, Biffle just slid right up into the 23 of Kenny Walls. Like really late, almost ended up in the wall in turns 1 and 2 there. That was a close call. Kenseth now going to try to get around Kenny Walls as well. Brett Bodine not too far ahead of Greg Biffle. We'll get around him, hopefully. Through 3 and 4, yes he does. Gassed it up, got right around him. Ooh, Biffle in the wall. Couldn't get off of it either, and Kenseth will get back one of his laps. Man, Biffle struggling this lap. Probably about as hard of a hit into the wall as he's had today, too. And trying to take care of the right front, so Biffle will pit at lap 250. So he is committed to making this a 3-stop race. Thinking everybody else, it'll be a 3-stop race also. It's a little bit different strategy with Biffle short pitting. Still having a 1-lap advantage. He might not lose as much time here, so we'll have to see how that will work. I think Biffle wanted to stay out longer, but knowing there's some damage on the right front that he wants to take care of and not knock himself out of the race, he'll pit at the halfway mark, much like he did at lap 125 earlier when it started to get to that point. So as long as he hangs on for another 25 laps, stays nice and calm, he'll be good to go here. Crossing over the 11 of Brett Bodine. Bodine's caught behind another lap car himself there. I think that's Ken Schrader in the 49. Harvick now trying to get around Jeff Green. Now he's got to get around Brett Bodine to try and get one of his laps back on Biffle. Biffle drove it in deep. A little contact there with Ken Schrader. Maybe a little too aggressive at that point. I just ran my fastest lap after... I didn't even notice that, honestly. So again, those tires really starting to wear out here. Oh, caution! First time today, lap 230, caution is out. I think debris came off of the 16 of Biffle. And it did. Not sure what exactly came off the race car. Might have been the right front. Something off the right front. Yes, Broken Jr., welcome to the stream. I do NASCAR Heat 5 still. We actually just streamed Michigan yesterday. Just kind of bouncing back and forth. So here we go. I don't know why I didn't pit there. Whoops. I mean, we still have a 1-lap lead at least. But all the lap cars will restart to the inside here, lap 234, following the first caution of the day for debris. Oh, that was a big mistake there. That would have been the perfect time. Now, everybody would have gotten back on the lead lap, but looks like they might get back on the lead lap anyway now. Junior and Newman did at least. That's a wise decision here. Let's see if maybe we'll get another caution. Cautions do start to breed other cautions. Again, first restart of the race. 230 laps of green flag racing until we see the first yellow here at Bristol. That's insane. But this race is... wonder if the tires might even start to even out here. Biffle drives it underneath the 12 of Newman. He's trying to catch Dale Jr. for second. Biffle trying to put him a lap down again just in case we get a caution. No free pass position here in 2003. Big slide there by Biffle. Trying to hang on to it. Oh my goodness. Barely keeps it off the wall, but more contact with Newman. And Dale Jarrett's now going to get underneath Newman for third, and he'll get around him. I mean, maybe Biffle with a little bit more clean room might try to stay in front. Maybe he'll pit when we get to the heavy lap traffic at the back. I'm not sure. Staying out of the pits there definitely kind of made it an interesting strategy, to say the least. Biffle right back underneath the 8 car off of turn 2. We'll get around him cleanly. So now some clean room, clean air to run for Biffle. That's what he wants to see. He'll put Junior a lap down again for now. But Greg Biffle again on about 45 lap older tires. Even out at this point. Even the leaders have about 85 laps on their tires now, so I think it's just the race car speed at this point. Biffle hanging on, trying to make it to halfway before pitting again. That will assure him he only has one more stop beyond that point the rest of the way. I think even if we get cautions, I'm going to stick to that strategy. I think things kind of played itself out now since we went through green flag stops before the first caution of the race. Quite some time after that. I think that's why everybody else stayed out. Maybe they were hoping Biffle would stay out and get the wave around, and Biffle staying out kind of helped them stay a lap down rather than get back on the lead lap. So that could be the case also. Oh, Biffle in the wall again. He's trying to take care of the car for a few more laps again. As we get to lap 251, he will hit pit road for the second time today, and it will be under green flag conditions for the second time as well. Wiggle once again there for Biffle. Rival David Green right in front of him. Big slide through 3 and 4. Biffle's just going to sit behind him for a couple laps and stay on par, stay on schedule with his pit stops. Alright, you guys can still hear. Alright, oh man, another big moment. Going into 3 and 4 again there. So Greg Biffle will hit pit road this time by lap 251. We're halfway home. 250 laps complete. Still another 250 to go. Biffle gets underneath. Oh boy, David Green there. But he'll bring it to pit road anyway. So no adjustment here. Damage will be repaired. 4 fresh tires for the 16 of Biffle as he's on pit road for the second time today. It will be one more stop away now from the finish. He's just basically hoping for another long green flag run here. Is it going to rain for today's race? I have no clue. I have not checked the radar. I hope not. I went to my grandparents last weekend to watch the race. We got 50 laps in, stayed for a couple hours, and then went home. So I promised them I'd be back again this week for the race, because we really didn't get to watch the race. I didn't watch it at their house Wednesday. I didn't have time to, so enjoyed it from my couch. Oh boy, Dale Jarrett, the race leader. With contact there, Biffle struggled to get around David Green. So Biffle's shown 1 lap down, barely though, with the race leader right there. Biffle's got fresher tires and clears Jarrett right back off of turn 4. Now has to pass David Green on the outside, it looks like. Green's holding the inside really well, but Biffle's got fresh tires. Almost made contact with him, barely keeps it off of him. And Biffle back on the lead lap. So just past the halfway mark here at Bristol Motor Speedway, my favorite racetrack of all time. Oh boy, contact there. Jack Sprague now. See, the top 9 are all within 3.5 seconds of each other right now. Dale Jarrett caught in the lap traffic as he's leading his some more laps today, I guess. Be interesting to see who might be able to clinch the most laps led throughout the course of the race today, too, to get those other 5 bonus points. As we saw Dale Jr. lead a lot at the very beginning of the race. Remember, Biffle didn't take the lead for the first time until about lap 58. Led for a little bit, pitted at 125, didn't lead again until about lap 170. And then led from 170 to 250 and obviously pitted there. And it's going to be a while before he's going to get back in the lead again. A little contact there, Mike Skinner. And you wonder, can everybody else make it on one more pit stop today? Will it be Biffle's 3-tire strategy versus a 2-tire strategy of everybody else? That could be the case. Again, only one caution up to this point today, and that was back at lap 230. And it was for debris. And that is it. Nobody has crashed up to this point. By Bristol standards, to go this far, that's insane. It really shows why these guys really are the best 43 in the Winston Cup Series. Biffle is cutting into that lead with these fresh tires. Big advantage here for him, despite not having the lead and being back in 10th. Ooh, almost got the wall. He was looking high to get around Casey Mears there. That didn't work. Gets the drive off, though, by running way up there. Luckily, Ken Schrader didn't get around him. A little contact now with Mears. All right. Hopefully that is the case. Ethan, thanks for the weather update there. Billy Kramer, welcome to the stream as well. And this is championship mode, by the way there, Broken Jr. Dan and Jeff, welcome to the stream. Bristol, my favorite too. I'm quite surprised that we've ran as clean as we did. I thought it was going to be a little bit harder when we started the race today. I was a little nervous. I was excited for the challenge, but I was a little nervous. I'm like, I hope we get to the end of this one. And honestly, the way things are shaping up, there is a good possibility that that will be the case. Biffle's taking care of his car about as good as he can with how fast the car is and how much lap traffic, obviously, there is around this racetrack. Bump underneath of Terry Labonte. Biffle will get right around him. Ooh, big skip getting into the corner. Steve Park right in front of Greg Biffle. Tell you what, the pace and the rate we're running here might get this race done before my Packers play. I'm only going to be able to watch the first quarter of the game before the race comes on. Maybe a little more than that. Once the race comes on, I'm watching it. Again, NASCAR over my Packers. I say football season doesn't start until NASCAR season's done, so. Getting that earlier start time, trying to get this done before the race starts today. I was anticipating a lot of cautions, and we've only had one up to this point. Still over 200 laps to go, though. That could change, obviously, from here on out. Biffle is closing in. He's 8.6 off the lead, still in 10th. Jeff Burton's the next driver for position. His teammate too far ahead of him. Biffle just got in the back of Jeff Green. I don't realize how long Jeff Green's been racing. He still runs some Xfinity races. on a part-time basis. So the fact that he is still racing, see him running back here on this season here for DEI, that one car. Of course, started in the number 30, I believe, in 2002. So Jeff Green has been in the sport for a long time. Using the fresh tires to his advantage, ripping right around Michael Waltrip. Elliott Sadler, big dive into the corner underneath of Mark Martin. His teammate, now he's got to sit for a moment, kind of wait. Couldn't quite clear Martin, almost made contact with him. That was close. Get right underneath of Jeremy Mayfield. Still intact, but Biffle less than 8 seconds off the lead now. What racetracks have I been to? Yeah, I've been to quite a few now. Only 3 of them this year, unfortunately, but they were all new tracks, so that was pretty cool. I'm trying to get to every one of the Cup Series racetracks at least that they race at, and obviously them expanding the schedule just means I have a longer list now. So 2015 was my first race. I went to Michigan. That's my home track. I've been going there since. So I've been there a handful of times. I think I've been there 5 times now. Michigan, obviously I couldn't go this year, unfortunately. Otherwise I would have been there for both races too. But yeah, I went to Michigan 5 times. Kentucky, 2018. I went to Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400 in 2018. 2019 I went to Atlanta, Watkins Glen, Charlotte Roval, Chicagoland. So that makes 7. Went to Bristol for the All-Star race this year. And Talladega just a few weeks ago. And I went to Darlington Labor Day weekend for the Southern 500. So 10 tracks now. Seen a lot of different drivers win. I've been seeing Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick win a lot lately. But for a while there, I had never gone to back-to-back races where I'd seen the same winner until I saw Keselowski win at the Brickyard, and then saw him win again at Atlanta, the very next race I would have went to the following season. I got a big list of racetracks I'm going to go to next year. Some of the same, some new ones. Definitely going to Pocono for the doubleheader. I'm supposed to go there this year. Obviously, because of COVID and them not having fans for the race, I didn't go. Trying to cross over Kevin Harvick. Trying to get underneath him. Yeah, he's under him now. Harvick gave him a lot of room through 1 and 2. So yeah, 10 racetracks. I'd like to go back to Bristol for the night race at least. I'm not going to mark it off my bucket list yet, just for the All-Star race. Always wanted to go there for the Bristol night race, so I plan on going back there next year. And I'd honestly like to go there for the dirt race, so I guess that'd be another track. I'm technically going to count it as another track for the dirt race too, so it'd be pretty cool. Maybe pull off the Bristol doubleheader next year, going to both races. That'd be pretty fun. Other racetracks I'm looking at going to next year. It sucks Michigan's only got 1 race. Obviously, I'll be at Michigan because it's my home track. It's a tough break though, because I can only go there once now instead of twice. I understand it. They don't need to go to Michigan twice. My personal opinion, I've said that for a while. I always wondered why they went there twice. But it kind of sucks with it being just an hour and a half away from home. That's the closest track to me by quite a ways. Kentucky was the next closest track at 3.5 hours. Now they're not racing at Kentucky anymore too, so that kind of stinks. Chicagoland was 4 hours away, and now they're not racing there, so it's like I have to travel a lot further to go to some area racetracks now. So I'm hoping they put Mid-Ohio on the Cup schedule at some time. I haven't been there yet, but that's only 2 hours from my house. That'll at least make it, another closer drive, another track I can get to easily once a year. So I'm hoping at some point in time they do that. Yeah, I'd like to go to Indy for the road course race. Went there for the oval. Didn't really plan on going back there again, but for the road course, I consider it another track that'd be pretty cool. We're at Atlanta 2016. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that was a... Didn't Jimmy Johnson win that year? If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. I want to say he won that year. You know, now I'm thinking about it, wasn't that the win he tied Earnhardt? Either tied him or broke Earnhardt's record? I don't know, one of the two. I think that was the race. That'd be pretty cool if you were there for that one, kind of historic. So Biffle working his way up to the 7th position. Oh, trouble! Car on the wall. We'll stay green. Somebody got in the wall in turns 1 and 2 up there. Saw some heavy smoke. Not sure who that was. It looked like a tire blew out at first. Maybe they just missed the corner. And we see Biffle getting in the wall further back off of turn 2. Oh, Keselowski won 2016. Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, I guess we've both seen Keselowski win in Atlanta. Biffle trying to get around Junior. Junior's starting to fade back now. Robbie Gordon might have been the car that got in the wall there. Biffle uses him as a pick, and Greg Biffle back up to 3rd here today. But again, looking like he definitely has to pit one more time. Everybody else looks like they might try to stretch it on one more stop, so it could be a 2-stop strategy versus a 3-stop strategy in this race. Everybody made it anywhere between 160 to 170 laps on fuel. Outside of Biffle, obviously short pitting, but we'll see. Caution could disrupt the pit strategy as well if people decide to pit then also. Oh, that's a bummer. Yeah, it should be on the main NBC today, so... I feel like if you have an antenna in your house, you should still be able to connect to like a local television channel. Obviously, the picture's not going to be in HD or anything, but at least you can watch the race if you have some sort of an antenna, or even you can like run to like a Lowe's or Home Depot and grab an antenna or something if you didn't want to miss the race. Black Ace, welcome to the stream. And here is Ryan Newman, the race leader. Biffle has caught him once again on the fresher tires. 3 wide underneath him here, looking for the lead. Newman leads that lap. Biffle slides it into the corner, trying to get around him cleanly if he can. Still side by side off of turn 2. Newman hanging in as strong as he can. Biffle slides in front of him. Lead change at the line, less than 200 laps to go. Greg Biffle back out in front. These guys can make it 20 to 30 more laps. They can make it on one more stop. Oh, man, Biffle almost got clipped by Nemechek off of the exit of that corner there. So Biffle will be trying to go maybe 65 more laps before he pits. Again, 1 caution just for debris up to this point. That is the only yellow. Slides on by McMurray underneath Waltrip, and man, he is just ripping right around with these fresh tires. Look at Biffle just hauling it. His lap cars are giving him a lot of room on the bottom though, and he's able to get around them pretty cleanly. He's already out to about a 2.8 second lead on Newman. Full contact back of Johnny Benson. Closing right on the back of Mike Skinner as he gets around him. Online lobby for NASCAR Heat 5 anytime soon? Yeah, we can definitely do that now that I've got the updated internet. I'd have to see if the current Elgato I have works for the PS4 first, because the area of where I'm at, I can't connect to our Wi-Fi with my PlayStation, but my laptop, if I connect to it like downstairs, it connects upstairs with good speed, as you guys have seen. No real lag issues, so that obviously helps. But they're now trying to put more cars a lap down here. Got about 10 cars on the lead lap currently in this race. About a 5.7 second lead on Newman with contact. A couple different drivers there. And we have one driver diving onto pit road there for, yeah, we have a couple drivers on pit road, in fact, so pit stops here under green flag conditions. I don't know if they can make it to the end of the race. They could be short pitting because they can. 180 laps is a long time, though. That's about 10 to 20 laps longer than originally. Oh, man. I don't know how Biffle cleared Fittipaldi on the outside with that big slide as he lets him back around him now. That was pretty insane how he didn't get clipped off the front of the 43. But yeah, once I figure out if the Elgato works with my PS4, if not, I'll have to get another one. But I have a $100 Best Buy gift card still. One I had to trade in my original laptop so I could stream off of this one because I couldn't do it with the Chromebook. Oh no! Casey Mears tried to get to pit road there and just wiped out the race leader. Biffle barely keeps it off the inside wall. More clean room to run now, so everybody's going to have fresher tires on Biffle when they come out of the pits. You see Ryan Newman, who was in second on pit road already. Dale Jr., who was in fourth, was on pit road as well. Dale Jarrett stayed out quite a ways longer last time. We'll see if that'll be the case here. Contact up ahead there. I believe that was Johnny Benson, Bobby Labonte, who might have gotten together. I think Benson's trying to move Labonte out of the way. Biffle's starting to handle not so well, I guess. Handling is definitely going away over the longer run again. Kyle Petty trying to get around Biffle. Matt Kenseth's still on the racetrack. He's the last car in the lead lap yet to pit. In second. And his teammate Biffle still out there, about 12 seconds off the lead. Biffle in the wall. Kenseth's still out there. I think Kenseth's trying to stretch it as long as he can so he can definitely make sure he can make it on fuel to the end of the race. One more stop. It's going to be really interesting to see if it's just going to be a two-stop race for everybody else. We know Biffle will have to pit one more time, or a third time with him short pitting today, so he's on a little bit different strategy. 3 stops instead of everybody else trying to make it on 2. But if we get a caution at some point in time, again, that could help Biffle. Only had 1 today, and we've gone about another 100 laps under this green flag run. Remember that lone caution was at lap 230 for debris. I do not have time to do the online race, online lobby today. Even if I do find out if the Elgato works. With the race coming up later this afternoon, I'm going to hang out with a couple friends after the race too, so yeah, I don't have much, you know, time outside of that free time today, so. Well, we could probably get one going by later in the week. You know, worst case scenario, again, I could just stop to Best Buy middle of the week or something if I need the different Elgato. I would say by next weekend, at the latest, we would get another online lobby live stream going. So you guys can join. Yeah, it's been a couple months. I didn't want to do it again because of my bad internet and lagging back out into you guys, kind of like I was doing before. So at least we wouldn't have that issue anymore. Baldy might have gotten in the wall off of turn 2 there. Oh man, Biffle walked way up the track into him. Oh, wow, slow car just coming out of the pits there. Biffle almost drilled him. That could have ended his day. I don't know who that was. It looked like it might have been Jamie McMurray, but not entirely sure. See Ryan Newman cycle back into second. 2 laps down, but Biffle still has to pit one more time. Everybody else might be able to make it to the end, so... Biffle trying to make it to lap 375. Split this race into quarters here, as he has done up to this point. So lap 375, 376 is what he's going to try to make it. That right front, obviously, starting to add a little bit more damage, but Biffle hoping he makes it far enough, and then he can repair it. On top of the 4-tire pit stop. If he has to pit sooner, he can, because he can make it on fuel from this point to the end of the race, but... he hasn't gone anything longer than 125 laps on tires, so I'm sure he doesn't want to go any longer than that point. Yeah, by the latest, I can do it next weekend. It could be earlier than that, but it definitely wouldn't be tonight. Yeah, this is the only stream. Even if we DNF in this race today, this is going to have to be it for today. So hopefully we make it to the end. We'll see if he can maybe gain back into the points. Saw Tony Stewart get right around Greg Biffle. Not a pass for position. Stewart going to get one of his laps back. Again, Biffle on older tires now by about... not as much as before. Some of these guys pitted a little bit earlier than last time. He's probably... instead of 45 laps, probably got about 30 lap fresher tires. Or everybody else has 30 lap fresher tires. Or no, actually, it's about double now that I think about it. They pitted right around lap 310, or 320 rather. So I guess they have about 70 lap fresher tires than Biffle. My bad on that. Some bad math there at first. By the way, yeah, the smoke that you see is just for my car. It's because I slide in the corners on the older tires. The rear tires aren't gripping up as well on corner entry when I get on the brakes. So that's the tire smoke. You don't see that in today's games. Oh, Biffle in the wall. Off turn 2. Kenseth gets around him. Struggling for grip, but he's just got to struggle for another 25 laps. It'll be on pit road. Right front's starting to wear out quite a bit. Jeff Burton starting to close in on his teammate Biffle, maybe try to get another lap back. 150 laps to go this time by at Bristol. Yeah, if we go caution-free to the end, this will actually be a longer run than the previous green flag run. Go 270 laps to the end instead of 230 we had at the start. A little less than 270 by the time we went green, I guess, but... about 3 or 4 laps under caution. Jeff Burton trying to get around Biffle. If he gets close enough and gets under him, then Biffle will let him go, or at least alongside of him. Burton hasn't done that yet. Biffle actually kind of pulled him through 3 and 4 that last time by. Try alternating through the different camera angles for the first yet. Go to the in-car cam here. This could be wild. Actually on the throttle a little bit more around this racetrack than what you would think. The banking kind of helps you turn a little bit more. Actually makes it one of the more easier tracks to drive in this game. I've noticed the flat tracks, no matter what size it is, are a lot harder. The higher bank tracks, no matter what size they are as well, seem to be a lot easier to drive. I think that's why I'm running fairly clean. If we were to go to Martinsville or Richmond or something like that, I think I'd probably struggle a little worse there on the short tracks versus here at Bristol. I think that's why we're running really well. Ooh, man, big wiggle there off of turn 4. Biffle had to kind of pedal the throttle down the front straightaway, trying not to overcorrect it. Kevin LePage right in front of him now. 31 of Robbie Gordon right there, all over his back bumper now. Kevin LePage kind of leaving the bottom open. Biffle just doesn't have the race car to kind of pin it down there and get around him there. Going out of the hood camera, and here's Robbie looked to the outside there. Biffle slides up right in front of him. Starts the corner a little higher, kind of cuts down, trying to get the run to get alongside of LePage, and maybe he can get around him from that point on. Oh, LePage might have gotten into the wall there, but that's going to help Biffle get around him. Try to stay in front of him now. So 5 more bonus points that time by for Greg Biffle. He has clinched the most laps led. That's huge as he tries to get back into the championship battle in the early going of the season. Again, this is only race number 5. So still a long ways to go, but he's had a great run to this point. Just in case he doesn't get the finish he needs, at least he's got 10 bonus points today, but he definitely wants to get to the end of the race. With how he is racing here today, he definitely wants to make it all the way if he can. No problem there, Broken Jr. Hopefully you make it back by the finish. If not, I'll hope to see you again soon. Big hop there on the outside, Johnny Benson. Biffle wants to take this run as far as he can. If he can take it a little bit past 375, that would be even better. Whenever he decides to pit, he'll have fresher tires than everybody else, so I guess the sooner it could be the better, but he's had himself a pretty solid race up to this point. He had a car up in smoke there. It's like an engine blew out. Couldn't tell exactly who it was. That's the 3rd engine failure I believe we have seen today. Biffle just trying to hold on for a handful more laps. He'll come to pit road, repair the damage. 4 fresh tires back on the car, and it'll be his final pit stop of the day. Around Johnny Benson through turns 3 and 4 that time. Now Rusty Wallace has to get around Benson before he can try to get around Greg Biffle again. Biffle's not even going to worry about trying to get around Casey Mears right now on these older tires. He's just going to sit kind of back here right behind Jack Sprague in the 0. Maybe a couple more laps before he comes to pit road. Slides up the racetrack a little bit. Rusty Wallace. Biffle actually had a run on the outside there, and now he's going to get underneath Jack Sprague. Didn't think he was going to really have an opportunity to do that. He's still not going to pass Casey Mears. Big slide in turns 1 and 2. Wallace trying to get around Sprague further back. And here we go, pit stop. Final stop of the day for Greg Biffle. And it will be yet another green flag stop. 4 fresh tires, full tank of fuel, and he'll be able to get to the end from here. Oh man, a little mishap on pit road there. Your tire changer just got into the catch can, man. Yeah, that's got to make for a really slow stop. 20 seconds there for Greg Biffle after that mishap. And indeed, he's got fresher tires back on the racetrack, but he has lost the lead for the moment. At least he's clinched the most laps led. He's got the rest of the race to get there. Again, in second place, it should get him to the lead eventually here. Ryan Newman is the race leader by less than a second ahead of Biffle. Biffle has fresher tires. Now we'll just see, will we stay green to the end of the race? If we get a caution, that could end up changing the outcome. You never know. Contact. Benson and Biffle. Biffle still got to take care of the car to the end of the race. Still 120 laps to go. And nobody else has to pit the rest of the way likely now. Might have some guys running dry on fuel because they might have short pitted a little earlier, but I don't think any of the leaders pitted that early. 180 to go. I think they were lap cars, so that might have been why they pitted. Ooh, Sprague bounced it off the wall there. If it drives it in hard underneath Elliott Sadler. Got the fresh tires for now. Better take advantage of it. It'll clear Sadler going into turn 1. So here we go. Newman, who was caught behind Casey Mears. Biffle elected not to go around Mears last time. He's going to have to now. And any other time he catches him the rest of the race, it looks like. 3 wide. Oh, man! A little contact to the back of Newman. This Biffle got around Mears quickly. So battle for the lead here at Bristol with 115 laps to go or so. See if Newman gets close enough to Rusty Wall. See if his teammate will let him on by. Then again, Rusty doesn't want to go a lap down either, so I don't blame him if he doesn't let Newman go by. Looks like he's giving up the bottom. Ryan Newman's going to get there. Biffle's just going to have to follow him on through it. He's got fresher tires here by about 60 laps. That is going to make a difference. Actually, probably a lot less than that. Probably more like 50, but still quite considerably fresher tires here. Oh, man, Biffle entered the corner a little hot into turn 3. Went high. Rusty Wallace underneath him now. Luckily, Biffle's got the fresh tires, but there's not a lot of grip on the outside of the track, and now he's getting trained all of a sudden. Elliott Sadler's going to get under him. And Biffle just lost more time there to Ryan Newman. Newman about 0.6 of a second ahead of him now. And Newman's struggling to get around a lap car. Elliott Sadler trying to get around Rusty Wallace. Ooh, Biffle got right in the back of Sadler. Biffle to the inside of Newman, following Elliott Sadler for the lead. Stanton Barrett holding up Newman. Lead change at the line, 110 laps to go. Greg Biffle back out in front at Bristol for the Food City 500. A little loose there off of turn 2. Stays in front of Barrett, though. That's all that matters. Newman still got to get around him. And now Newman to the inside of Barrett. Biffle trying to pass Elliott Sadler, who is a tough out right now. Not able to do it. Biffle underneath Sadler again. Oh, contact. Almost a second and a half lead now for Biffle. It should be, as long as he obviously makes it to the end of the race, smooth running to the end for Biffle on fresher tires if it stays green. If a caution comes out, that could be probably the worst thing possible for Greg Biffle at this point. But again, hoping it stays green. We are nearing 400 laps complete in the Food City 500. Most amount of laps in a race this season is 500 at Bristol for both races and Martinsville for both races. Don't go to Martinsville until a little later in the season. We don't come back to Bristol until really late in the season. The Sharpie 500 there. The Bristol night race. .6 now ahead of Newman, so that lead really growing here. Biffle's got a little bit more room ahead of him, but now he's got heavy lap traffic once again. Contact there with Brett Bodine, rubs on by him. No major issue at least. .400 laps complete, 100 laps to go here in the Food City 500 at Bristol. Thanks for everybody tuning in here. Early afternoon hours now. 12:30 Eastern Standard Time at least. Friends on the West Coast probably still in the morning, but whatever the case though, we're having fun today. Biffle trying to go for back-to-back wins. Got that first career win at Michigan in the last race. Thrilling and exciting fashion. A little bit more calm, about as calm as Bristol could be. Only one caution. And we're over 400 laps into this race. That is just insane. Oh, contact there. Fittipaldi and Biffle. Biffle couldn't get off of him. Oh boy, Fittipaldi's a little upset now. After that contact. Allowed Newman to close in a little bit too. He's under 4 seconds behind him again. Slides in front of Terry Labonte. Putting him a lap down. Yeah, Biffle's trying to put as many guys a lap down as he can in case we do get another caution before the end of the race. Now, we would obviously have to line those lap cars to the inside of him, but at the same time, too, they'd have to unlap themselves at some point. Single file restarts, and if a caution comes out with less than 10 laps to go, then everybody starts single file. Lap cars have to restart at the back of the field. They will not get the opportunity to restart to the inside. So that's kind of what you saw at the end of the Michigan race yesterday when we had a couple restarts under 10 to go. 5-second lead now on Newman. Newman's about 3 to 3.5 seconds ahead of Dale Jr., who was in third as well. So Newman, points leader coming into the day. Qualified fifth. He's been up front all day. He's led some laps, so he's got 5 bonus points. Biffle, 10 bonus points. Going to outscore him here, but he's not going to gain much on him at the same time either. We go to another another bad track, I guess, but it is a big bad track, and that is Talladega for the Aaron's 499 in the next race on NASCAR Thunder 2004. Tomorrow's action, though, a little different. We'll go to Mid-Ohio. The NASCAR Xfinity Series on NASCAR Heat 5 will be the full race live stream tomorrow. Start time will be right around 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Big crossover there by Biffle. Finally going to get underneath Jack Sprague, who's stuck behind him for a few laps. Big slide going into 1 and 2. Catches it. There's not really to that point where they're really starting to get worn out. Not yet. For about the last 50 to 60 laps, they will be, though, if we're still green up to that point. The way to go around this racetrack, if we do get another restart, all the lead lap cars are right near one another. Seen about as minimal of contact as possible up to this point by Bristol standards, especially old Bristol standards, but I guarantee you nobody is going to want to give up any more positions. It'll be all give and no take. BMNJ, welcome to the stream. Welcome back to the stream. I think you were here a little bit ago. Nine-second lead for Greg Biffle. Burton almost bounced it off the wall there. I think that's the 21 of Ricky Rudd that kind of slid up the track. Biffle trying to get under him and beat him into turn 3 now, and he does. And passes him. Oh, man, really drove it in deep. Got right in the back of Stanton Barrett. In the 60. And overdrove the corner there. It's a little loose that time. Boy, a little more contact on the outside there, Ricky Rudd. Finally gets around Stanton Barrett. Slide turns 3 and 4. Mike Skinner holding up Michael Waltrip now. Maybe using a little bit too much brakes here, starting to really slide those rear tires. Yeah, those tires are starting to get pretty worn out, but he's going to have to battle for the last just less than 75 laps now in this race. More with himself than anything else if it does stay green. gotten used to over the course of the race, driving it on these old tires. That first run was probably the worst. There were no adjustments today for the 16 team, but just by not having a lot of laps on the track, and then the tires getting really old, it was definitely a tough battle, but this race is never easy to win, especially in this game. I would say probably a lot harder to win a race in this game versus NASCAR Heat 5. As I've seen me win a lot on Heat 5. We only got one win on the season here, so can't take anything for granted. You saw how hard we had to fight it out at Michigan, despite having the fastest car all day. Those late cautions really hurting us. 70 laps to go at Bristol. Hoping for not more of the same. Dale Jarrett just went a lap down here. Biffle's been trying to get around Casey Mears. He can't quite do it. Mears leaves the bottom open. Man, Biffle really drove it off into 1 and 2. Clears him in one fell swoop. So we'll get around Casey Mears there. He didn't want to waste any time with him. Three cars on the lead lap. Dale Jr. about to go a lap down. Biffle gets underneath him. And there's Christian Fittipaldi. There was contact between Biffle and him a little earlier as Fittipaldi is trying to get around Brett Bodine. Biffle's going to be really patient trying to get around him here. I think Brett Bodine's angry enough to hit him. But Fittipaldi might try to retaliate on Biffle, despite it being accidental contact earlier when they got together. So Biffle needs to do what he can here to try and get around him. Might just have to follow him through another car. Fittipaldi trying to get around the 30 of Steve Park. 10-second lead on Ryan Newman, by the way, so he does have time to give up. Don't want to have to give up that time, but doesn't want to rush to get around Fittipaldi in a bad situation and get door slammed here. Big slide again there by Biffle. Dale Jr. trying to get his lap back meanwhile. Biffle maybe taking a little bit too long of time to get around Fittipaldi, and now crosses him back over. And Fittipaldi just drills him. Oh man, driving the car loose into turn 3. Well, that was the swing that Biffle was waiting if he ever got alongside Fittipaldi, and luckily Biffle was able to keep it going in the right direction. We stay green. We'll see if he might catch him again. I'm sure he will by the end of the race. Really the first time somebody's tried to purposely door slam Biffle today. Quite surprised. Again, hasn't really made contact with a lot of guys. Kenny Wallace up here, but I don't think big slip there. 26 of Kevin Grubb was able to get back around Biffle on the outside. Grubb, another one of those Rookie of the Year contenders. Had 11 rookies on this season. Well, 3 of them are running part-time. Oh, Biffle! Loose on the outside. Yeah, he's going to let Grubb go. He's going to have to pass him on the bottom. Biffle just doesn't have the grip in his tires to pass on the outside like he can at the beginning of the run on these slower lap cars. And the car's getting a lot harder to pass late in the race, not just because of the tire wear either. Everybody's battling for everything they can. The slides underneath of Kenny Walsh, just going to get underneath of David Green in the 37, beat him back to the gas easily. So again, Biffle with the lead, a little more strung out now ahead of him. 11.5 seconds ahead of Ryan Newman, only 2 cars on the lead lap. One caution today has kind of put us in that circumstance. But still trying to survive to the end. We're not all the way through it until that checkered flag waves. Biffle has had some near misses today. I'm sure that'll be the course over every race, though, with this game. I'd have to imagine. Schrader holding up. Black car behind him. Biffle able to get around both of them now. Almost 50 laps to go, and we saw how quickly laps can fly by at Bristol. Ryan Newman's rooting for a caution right now before the end of this race. Second advantage now. Biffle, remember, does have about 60 lap fresher tires, and there's Ryan Newman. He's going to try to do everything he can to stay in the lead lap now as Biffle bounces it off the wall. 49 to go this time by for Biffle. Trying to go for back-to-back wins. A little loose off of turn 4. Everybody's going to be on older tires at the end, though, again, if we don't get a caution. Thanks for everybody tuning in here. Early afternoon hours now. Started this one a little bit earlier, but again, had to get it in before the Martinsville Cup race today, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that race. Predictions video will be out on the channel before the start of that one. Biffle just lapped the field now, getting around Ryan Newman off of turn 2, so and using Ward Burton as a pick. Biffle just still trying to make it to the end of the race. 46 laps to go. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, you might as well. Got daily NASCAR content on the channel, full race live streams with a realistic broadcast. Obviously NASCAR Heat 5 action, but getting into this NASCAR Thunder 2004 season here. Should have a camera by the next race we have with NASCAR Thunder 04, so pretty fun to watch going forward here. Problem Child, welcome to the stream. Oh boy. Contact there with Terry Labonte. This car very loose. The 16, Greg Biffle, also Diamond Jeff, welcome back. Biffle just trying to survive to the end. 39 laps to go at the line that time. One caution up to this point. Terry Labonte really blocking Biffle. Biffle, oh, gets into the back of him again. Biffle doesn't have to rush to get around him. He's got a big lead. Ryan Newman Jr. still trying to run him down for second. He's got to survive to the end. I know you want to get to that checkered flag before a caution comes out, but man, oh man, he's got to still take care of the car to get to that point. Biffle's kind of ripping around these guys with the fresh tire advantage he's got. 60 laps, and there's Christian Fittipaldi up there again. Figured we were going to catch him another once or twice, one or two times at least in this race. And it's the case here. Somebody just bottomed out up there. I think it was Jimmy Johnson. I don't think he got into the back of the 40. Fittipaldi giving him room on the bottom. Little hit there. Biff will try to get away from him now. Really the only driver mad enough to really want to make contact with Greg Biffle right now. He's done it twice now. He should still catch him one more time if it stays green to the end. But Jimmy Johnson another lap down. Johnson blocking for his life. Biffle gonna finally get under him and get around him. Less than 30 to go. Now 26 to go. So yeah, that right front's starting to wear out again. Old tires for everybody to the end of the race. Now remember, some guys might be close to making it to the end on fuel. And pitted with about 180 to go, so could be a fuel mileage race for some of these lap cars. Before the end of the race, they might be hoping for a caution if they can't make it. So you might still see some pitting cars before the end of the race. Of the drivers in the top 10, they should be able to make it easily to the end, though. Slide there by Biffle. Oh boy, Biffle shoved up the track right in the back of Stanton Barrett again. It was light enough contact. Barrett was giving him the inside too. The drive off of turn 2. Biffle gets right underneath of Dale Jarrett, passes him going into turn 3. Jarrett, one of the drivers in the top 10. In fact, Jarrett's actually in 5th place right now. Wow, Biffle almost got in the wall. Up in that gray area there. 1 and 2. Cars should start to shove up the track now. Seems to be a little loose on entrance, a little tight on a little tight on entrance, loose on exit. And Biffle on the brakes hard. Trying to get the car to turn. He's had to deal with this a few times already, and he's dealing with it one more time today. Finally gets underneath Joe Nemechek, slides in front of him. 15 laps to go. 15 more laps to try and survive to the end of the race. We are probably a little less than 4 minutes now from the end. Biffle just hoping it stays green. Does have a 1-lap lead over the rest of the field, so at least that will help. It says 2 laps, but it's only 1. Yeah, at the end of the race, it kind of averages out if they're more than a half lap down. It says they're 2 laps down. I don't know why it does that on this game, but there's a 1-lap lead on at least Ryan Newman and Dale Jr. I think Kurt Busch is the first driver 2 laps down in 4th. You see Dale Jr. actually right in front of Greg Biffle here. Trying to catch Ryan Newman for 2nd. Going to try to get around Jr. Another slide, man. Jr. is not giving him any room on the bottom. 11 to go. I think he's just going to let Dale Jr. go the rest of this race. I don't think he's worried about passing him. He's trying to save the car to the end. Got a big lead. 10 laps to go at Bristol. Oh, in the wall. Yeah, Biffle's definitely looking to try to pass Jeremy Mayfield here. He's already on his inside. Junior, man, on the brakes hard. Biffle trying to keep from getting into the back of him as Biffle gets just around Mayfield. Oh, my goodness. Car all over the place. At least he's cleared Mayfield now. Again, he's not trying to pass Dale Jr. The car is unstable as it is. Trying to survive to the end, and there is Fittipaldi. Jr. actually kind of allows Biffle to get under him. Biffle gets around Jr. anyway. Good drive there. I really don't think Biffle wants to pass Christian Fittipaldi, though. Will get around Ward Burton now. 6 laps to go here at Bristol. Food City 500. Again, Ryan Newman is 1 lap down, not 2 laps down. It kind of averages out at the end of the race for some reason, because he's more than a lap and a half behind the field. Ryan Newman is 1 lap down. Fittipaldi's just kind of waiting for Biffle to get alongside of him, but Biffle's just going to stay behind him. 4 laps to go. Right side of his race car is pretty beat up. He wants to just make it to the end of the race. Looks like everybody should be able to make it on field for sure here. Even those lap cars, I wasn't completely sure if they were going to make it, but I don't see anybody diving off yet. We only have 3 to go, so they're pretty committed to staying out to the end of the race. At this point, they're taking it easy. Just trying to hang on to that race car. 2 to go. Almost got under him there. He's trying to stay behind him, but Fittipaldi might be sitting back intentionally. He doesn't have a fast car on top of it, but white flag in the air. 1 lap to go here at Bristol. Oh, Fittipaldi took a swing at Biffle there right at the end. Kind of holding back. But Biffle survives and wins the Food City 500 off of turn 4. Wow, oh man. 500 laps of survival today, and Greg Biffle will get the win. Lap the field in the victory here. Ryan Newman, the only driver as well to finish 1 lap down. Just complete domination. The 2-stop strategy for everybody else, 3 stops for Greg Biffle seemed to play out perfectly. He was on fresher tires for a longer period of time, and that is why he was able to make it to the end. To get a win on my home track, and then my favorite track in back-to-back races. That's pretty huge here on NASCAR Thunder 2004. That is a big points day for Greg Biffle to try and cut back in. Ryan Newman, though, did finish in second place. He was the points leader, so we'll see. But there's Biffle in victory lane. Car's a little beat up. It's Bristol, but not as bad as it probably could have been, honestly. And he just survived 500 laps. And not only survived, he conquered with the win. And there is the trophy for winning the Food City 500. And Fittipaldi's still unhappy with Biffle, but that's the only rival he's going to have to worry about going into Talladega. Take a look at the race results here in this one. Average speed of 118.078. Pretty fast considering, again, only 1 caution for 3 caution laps. That came at lap 230, so the longest green flag run when we went green would have been 167 laps, sorry. Wow, that's insane. 167 laps, or sorry, 267 at the end of the race, so over half the race to the end. And the only caution came for debris off of Biffle's car in the first half of the race. 342 of the 500 laps led today. That is insane. Again, Newman led laps, Dale Jr. led laps, so did Dale Jarrett, getting some bonus points for those guys. Might have had, I think Matt Kenseth might have led a lap or 2 at some point. Tony Stewart. We go down here. Mark Martin led 14 laps after starting on the pole. So he led at the beginning of the race. Take a look at the DNFs. Hermie Sadler, Bill Elliott were the only 2 to DNF today. Both engine failures earlier in the race. So again, just the 1 car in the lead lap, but Greg Biffle gets the win. Newman second, Dale Jr. third, followed by Kurt Busch, Dale Jarrett, your top 5. Ricky Rudd, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Matt Kenseth, and Jeff Burton round out the top 10. I could have swore Tony Stewart led a lap today. I guess he didn't. As well as Matt Kenseth. So that is the race results. The Aaron's 499 at Talladega will be the next race on NASCAR Thunder 2004. But first, tomorrow, our next full race live stream will start at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that will be at Mid-Ohio for the NASCAR Xfinity Series on NASCAR Heat 5. So our first road course race there. That should be a lot of fun. 75 laps of action there. Again, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the start for that one. That is going to do it here today. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. Hit the like button down below if you enjoyed the race, the commentary, the video in general. We do these full race live streams on the daily with a realistic broadcast. So follow me on my journey to one day, hopefully, becoming a NASCAR commentator. So, for real races, obviously. So thanks everybody again for tuning in here today. Enjoy the race this afternoon. Predictions video coming out soon. Post-race analysis video will be coming out after the race as well. So thanks and enjoy the rest of your afternoon. See you tomorrow.